Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another Training Tuesday. As the title card said, we're looking at simultaneously sending ArtNet and ACN. This is a real world situation we see a lot of guys get into where you end up at a venue, you have an ArtNet floor package, they have an ACN house system. Maybe you're on different IP schemes. Maybe you guys didn't advance correctly and adjust accordingly to get everything to line up, and you got to be able to talk to both systems. So what I've set up today is a real simple example of this. We obviously have MagicQ here. We're going to get rid of the viz because we don't need to look at that for what we're talking about today. So MagicQ is set up on a 10.IP. It's just my house network doing its thing. My house network here is a managed system, so I have a Ubiquiti set up that has full management and everything like that. This is sending to a particular VLAN that is set up to be a 10 dot, so it's its own little network. What I've set up on the other side is I've built another system here, and this computer has dual NICs. So if we go to the control panel, we can see we got the network and sharing center, network 1, network 2. If we look at the adapters, we can see that this guy is set up as a 10.IP, so 10.0.0.103. And the other NIC on this computer is actually set up to a 2 dot. If we go properties, we look at this one, 2.0.0.102. So he's talking on both networks. That second network port, the 2 dot, is set up on a VLAN. It is an open VLAN, so it can actually communicate between the two, the 10 dot and the 2 dot networks. And then I have ArtNet Nominator and ACN here, so we can view the network and we can see what's going on. So right now, MagicQ is sending the demo show, all ArtNet, all at its normal standard IP address, the 10.IP address. And you can see that ArtNet Nominator is receiving the whole show. Everything's there, everything's flickering, it's doing its thing. You will see that ACN view is not showing anything coming through, which is what we'd expect, because right now we're not sending anything via SACN. Now, if I want to switch universes 1 through 4 to SACN, I can easily do that in MagicQ. So I can just come down here, choose SACN for those 4 universes. And now it is technically sending SACN. You'll see that these 4 universes have stopped on ArtNet Nominator, but we still don't see them in SACN view. The reason being SACN view is being directed to look at the 2.IP range or the 2 dot network card. So somehow I need to jump out of my existing IP scheme and be able to communicate to something beyond that range. You can do this in MagicQ. You can do it to up to 2 devices per universe. And if you copy the universe, you can do it through even more. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this unicast field. And we're going to take universe 1 through 4, and we're going to unicast those to the 2.0.0.102 in this example, which is the 2 dot network card in the other system. As soon as we hit enter on that, it's going to think about it for a second. You see, as soon as we did that, we now have universes showing and responding in ACN view on the 2 dot network. This is useful for a lot of different things. The example we use, the prime example we just used, which is getting out of your IP scheme and talking to a second system. It's useful on SACN systems that have IMGP snooping enabled or have some sort of weird management going on, where maybe it's not communicating perfectly. It's not grabbing that multicast signal and applying it to the correct device. Nothing's able to talk. A lot of times you could sidestep that by unicasting directly to the node IP address. And it basically forces MagicQ to talk point to point. This device talks to that device. We have seen with our older hardware where IMGP snooping is in play. A lot of times we see this on ETC installed systems in theaters and things like that, where it just doesn't want to talk. This can help you get around that problem when using SACN to try to talk to an ETC system that they've installed and managed and kind of locked down. Some other uses for it is getting around various other management, getting around blocks or stops within your network. Some devices we know from the past, particularly older Martin stuff, would only talk ArtNet on a 2 dot. So if you end up in a nightclub that has an older Martin system, that has older Martin setup, which will only talk ArtNet on a 2 dot, your house floor package is a 10 dot, you can still send ArtNet and then unicast the 2 dot again to get out of your range and be able to talk to the whole system. You can do this for 2 devices per universe. If you need more, you can always come down to an unused universe and say copy universe 1 is going to send out SACN on ACM 14. Actually, we'll make that SACM 1. Then we'll do 5, and we'll just add another one here. There we go. So now we have a 5th universe here we're not talking on. And then we can, again, unicast to 2.0.0.102. As soon as we do that, you see, now we have a device showing on universe 5. So now I'm sending universe 1's information out both ACN1 and ACN5 directly to the device that I need to talk to. So what IP would you put in this unicast field? You would put the IP address of the node you're trying to communicate with. So if it was a 4-port node, all these would be the same. If it was an 8-port node, we could do the first 8. If it's a couple 2-port nodes, we would do the IP address of that, the universe 1 and 2 node, and the IP address of the 3 and 4 node. So it's really easy to sidestep those things, really easy to get around them in MagicQ. It's really easy to make sure you can talk to those devices. One other thing of note is I mentioned IMGP snooping. That is a component of a network managed network switch. SACN kind of relies on that for the multicast to be able to identify this device, wants to talk to that device, wants to talk to the other device. If that is enabled on the network, it can cause some problems because on all the MagicQ consoles, we do have managed switches in the back. On the older hardware, MQ80 and older, we had seen some problems with that where we had IMGP snooping enabled and so did the house system, and that caused a conflict and there was a problem. On those 80s, usually unicasting would get you around it. On the newer desks, though, all of the current consoles, we have a control in setup, view settings, network for the network switch in the console and the ability to change that and to enable or disable IMGP snooping on the console's network switch. So all the newer hardware, we do have control of that. We can turn it off on the console if it is on in the house and kind of stop that conflict. There's a little spiel here about what it is and which one's allowed to do it. So you see 500, 500M, 250, and the 50 and the 70 are all capable of doing it. So again, if you're in that situation, and you see this again a lot with ETC installed systems, you get to the theater, you plug in, you know your networking's right, but for some reason you're still not talking. Come in and give this a try. If this doesn't work, go back to DMX.io, give the unicast a try, and the combination of the two or one or the other should get you up and running in pretty short order, provided they're not doing anything really sketchy on their network. So that's really it. This was a quick one today. I just wanted to show you how to get your network information out to your rig, your house system, get everything talking. There's not much more to it. Yeah. Any questions down here in the chat? I see a whole lot of hellos and highs from all over the world. Yeah. No, I'm not seeing any questions pop up. Cool. Well, if you guys have questions about this, you guys get in a situation where this is a problem for you and you guys need to be able to talk to multiple IP addresses at once, multiple IP schemes at once, hit us up. We're happy to help you. You can always find us at www.chamsyslighting.com, and through the support page there, you can either call us or email us. We'll be happy to give you a hand. So be sure to check out the website for more online trainings, and hopefully we'll see some of you at LDI coming up here soon. Y'all have a good day.